Hey crafters, Jessie Katz Greenberg here, and in this video I'm going to show you how I made this mosaic plant stand, combining a thrifted wooden plant stand with a broken plate. Disclaimer here, I am a total beginner at mosaics, so this is a beginner's take on how to make this mosaic project. I am by no means an expert. But this project had been on my Pinterest board for years. I was a bit intimidated, and I'm really happy I finally went for it. It was a lot easier than I thought. Start with a broken plate. This was a plate gifted to us from our wedding, but my cat recently knocked it off the counter, so I really wanted to make something new with it. And you'll need a wooden plant stand or some sort of wood base. This is a plant stand I thrifted for I think $1 a year or two ago. Place a piece of your plate inside of a towel. If your plate is curved at all, it's helpful to put the plate upside down. And I didn't realize this at first, but you'll want to use a towel that you don't really care about because you are going to make holes in it. Break apart the plate into smaller pieces using a hammer, but instead of just wildly smashing, which would just create dust, you want to kind of use your hand to find the pieces and then just do one hit with the hammer until you have pieces the size that you need. Now, this is the fun part if you like puzzles. If you don't love puzzles, then this might be a little bit more tedious, but once you sort of settle into it, it does become quite soothing. You're going to want to take your pieces and just sort of play around and see how they fit on your wooden base. The butterfly shape gave the additional challenge of just having a lot of curves and the points going inwards, but in the end, I think I just lucked out and had pieces that fit those curves quite nicely. Really take your time during this part because if you have this all mapped out and ready to go, the next step of gluing down your plate pieces is going to go a lot smoother. Because I was going for a monarch butterfly inspired color palette, I didn't mind that there were a few large gaps between because that just meant that more of the black grout was going to be visible. Once you have your plate pieces arranged, which from here on out I'm just going to call them tiles because it's easier, you can move on to gluing them. I used Mosaic Glue from Beacon Adhesives for this. I added the glue to the back of the tile and then positioned it into place on top of the wooden plant stand. One benefit of this glue is that it's repositionable for, I think it was 15 minutes. So you can sort of slide around the tiles if you need to gently reposition them, or even if you need to just pull one up and re-glue it down in a slightly different position. And one tricky thing that I was dealing with here was since this is an old, weathered, thrifted plant stand, the top of it is not exactly flat. So sometimes I would stick a tile down and it would sort of slide off to the side or forward and back. So to deal with that, I just sort of held it in place for a minute or two and then they stuck perfectly fine. Since this was my first time, I was going pretty generous with the amount of glue that I used. It did ooze out from under the tiles, so I think that I probably could have used less mosaic glue. In this case, it didn't matter that it oozed out underneath the tiles because that was going to end up being covered up with grout anyway. So you get all your tiles glued down and in place, make sure they're all glued down, and then you're going to wait for the glue to dry completely before grouting. So for this glue, you want to wait 24 to 36 hours, and you'll know it's dry when your tiles are nice and stuck in place and the glue will dry clear. I forgot to film it, but you can see in the bottom right here that I lined the edge of my plant stand with painter's tape. That's just to protect the wood edge of the plant stand. And now I'm mixing the grout. So this, for some reason, was the step that I always thought would be intimidating, the mixing the grout and grouting the piece, but it was really easy and really satisfying to work with. You want to make sure to use sanded grout for this. Shout out to my friend Derry from the craft salon for giving me that tip. And I'll link the exact grout that I used in the caption below. Follow the instructions on your specific grout for how to mix it. This one required proportions of 4 parts powder to 1 part water. So that's what you saw me measuring in the beginning. Although I did guess slightly with the water, so after mixing for a while, you can see it's still a bit too dry, so I added a tiny bit more water and then mixed again. I'm gonna speed this up in a minute so you don't watch the whole mixing process, but give it quite a bit of time of mixing before you decide if you need to add more water. Because at this stage, I sort of thought that maybe it was still too dry, maybe I needed more water, but then all of a sudden something shifted and it became the right texture. So just spend time mixing before you decide you need more water or more powder. In the end, you want like a mashed potatoes consistency. Once your grout is the right consistency, you can plop it on top of your project, just right in the middle, and then you're going to want to flood or spread it out so it fills in all of the cracks between your tiles. You can get a special tool for this. It's called a grout float, but for such a small project, I didn't want to spend the money on another tool, and I always keep a collection of old gift cards. In this case, this is a transit card from my time in Chicago. Usually I use these cards for spreading glue, but it worked really well for spreading the grout and for helping me pack it into the cracks between the tiles. This step did take some patience. Again, I'm going to speed it up a little bit here. So I would say don't rush this step. Really take your time, because once the grout dries, it's dry, and you really want to make sure you totally fill in all of the cracks, all the way from the surface of the tiles down to the wood of your base. You don't want to just have grout like floating along the surface and have space between the grout and the wood. The card also came in handy to scrape along the edges, like you see me doing here, to create a nice smooth edge around the curves of my butterfly. And this is where the painter's tape came in handy. If I was doing this without the painter's tape, I would just be smearing black smudges onto the sides of the wooden plant stand, but the painter's tape is protecting it. For some of the little crevices and corners, I was using my fingers just to pick up globs of grout and just sort of push them into place, and then I used the card to scrape to make the nice flat edge. A few times I would use the card to scrape along the side, and I might like yank out some grout and have to refill in a space. So just, again, patience during this step if that happens. I think it's normal. It happened to me at least, and I just had to refill in a couple areas before finishing up. Now again, look to the directions for the grout you're using. I definitely started wiping the grout off of the tiles way too soon. So you can see here I'm using a damp sponge, and this is a sponge specifically for grouting and tile work. It's not like a kitchen sponge. And it looks, like I'm just smearing black grout across the top of the tiles for some of the time. That's just because I didn't let the grout dry long enough before doing this step. Lesson learned. I will be better next time. If you are impatient like me and you make the same mistake, just make sure that your sponge is nice and clean and just slightly damp as you're wiping. And then you can take a rag like I am here and just individually clean the tiles. This ended up working just fine, but I'm glad that I figured out what I did wrong, so it'll be a little bit easier the next time. The last step before letting it dry is to remove the painter's tape. So this is that satisfying step where now I'm going to get that clean edge around the side of the plant stand. And you want to do this while the grout is still wet. I am so glad that I finally got this project off my Pinterest board and into my real life. It looks great on the DIY porch makeover that I'm working on. I hope to share a full video of that soon. And I'm glad that I gave the plate that was a wedding gift a second life as something new. I could have sealed this, I chose not to, so we're going to cross our fingers and see what happens. As always, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please drop a comment, subscribe to my channel for my next craft tutorial. It helps creators like me a whole lot, so I really appreciate it if you made it this far. Happy crafting!